subscribe or I'll blow you up. Welcome to my channel. This is Search, bringing you another action figure collector's review on Bandai's anime heroes, My Hero Academia's Bakugo Katsuki. And my OCD is really wanting to kick in at this moment in time and flip that Katsuki Bakugo around, because in English that's how we would say our names. We'd say the first name first and the last name last. But in Japanese culture, it's actually the last name that comes first and then the first name that comes last, in honor of the family's tradition. As previously noted in my comments on my last video, thanks to everybody who commented on that video, letting me know more about the Japanese culture. I really do appreciate that. It helps this channel out a lot whenever you educate me on things like that. Anyway, these figures are released only in Japan and possibly in Europe at this moment in time. And like I previously stated in my other video, as I don't really see these coming to America anytime soon. If they do, then it would have to be by, I guess, McFarlane Toys' willpower, because they have all the rights to the brand for the toy lines or the action figure lines. But anyway, that's enough of that rambling at this current time. As you can tell, you get Katsuki Bakugo, or Bakugo Katsuki, staring at you through the window. And you also get a ton of extra accessories for the figure. Over here on this side of the box, you get anime heroes up there at the top. You get Bakugo Katsuki down there at the bottom. And you get a nice illustrated image from the anime of Bakugo Katsuki, and you can peep into the figure like a peeping Tom would do over there on that side of the box. Over here on this side of the box, you get anime heroes up there at the top. You get a bunch of Japanese writing, don't ask me what it is, and you get My Hero Academia right there at the bottom. Over here at the back of the box, you get other figures from this wave. You get My Hero Academia, and you get anime heroes up here at the top. Up here at the top of the box, you get anime heroes and some more Japanese writing. And down here, a bunch of legal stuff. Let's get to it and open this bad boy up. Okay, let's take a good look at his accessories. And first of all, go ahead and take a look at his two-fisted hands. Boom, boom. And they do look good for the most part. I do like them a lot. The sculpt work looks nice. The detailing on them looks good as well. You get some wrinkling in the gloves right there near the palm, around the thumb, and that looks good as well. And I like them, fairly decent amount. They're a little glossy for my taste. But the thing that bothers me the most is this orange seeping through right there. Now, I know what they were trying to go for. They were trying to go for the inside of the glove look. But I would have preferred this just to be, all one color of the green. And then just this being orange color. And the same thing with this one as well. I just think that would have just looked a little bit better. But, I mean, that's just a little minor nitpick. And we'll go ahead and set that to the side. And we'll go ahead and take a look at his wide open hands. High five. And they do look good as well. And you do need these hands. And I do like the color and the sculpt work on them. You get some wrinkling on the inside of the gloves. Look very nice. I do enjoy that a lot. Right there. You don't get really too much sculpted line work on the outside. Up underneath the knuckles on both. But other than that, the paint apps look pretty good on them for the most part. We'll go ahead and set this to the side. Now, we already get them wide open hands. So, instead of getting these hands, these gesturing hands, I would like to got like an effect piece. You know what I'm saying? Because a character like Bakugo is you're going to want them fiery explosions. I mean, McFarlane Toys already came out with the figure for the same price point, so why don't you just try to one-up them on your accessories? Maybe give us an extra head sculpt or extra, accessories like blasting effects plus these hands. I mean, that would have been nice, but that's just a little gripe of mine. I just think Bandai should throw in some of those accessories. But these hands are nice, they're good, and they do work for some pictures, and I'll show you that in my photo gallery at the end. Anyway, that was a good look at Bakugo Katsuki's accessories. Shuei's highest, most aggressive student out of the box and getting ready to explode his way onto your screen. We have Bakugo Katsuki from Bandai Anime Heroes. Now, is this figure really worth buying? We're getting ready to find out in just a second. Before we get into his articulation, I'd like to give a big shout out to Infinite in 1985. He's the one who pointed me in the direction of these figures. So a big thanks goes out to him, because without him I wouldn't have these figures in hand. Anyway, we'll go ahead and look at his articulation. Right here, his hair is very spiky, so be careful whenever managing that. But he can't look up at all, so that's very disappointing. He can look down just ever so slightly. He does have a little bit of that confused dog going on to that side, a little bit going on to that side. He does have the Exorcist right there, which is the 360. He can throw the perfect pitch, which his arm can go around in full 360. He does have a bicep swivel right in here, and he's got a double jointed elbow, but bends in less than 90 degrees because it hits that gauntlet right there, which is very understandable. Right here, you do have a ball hinge at his wrist, which is very ugly, and allowing him to go in and out, and then you can rotate it around, go side to side. So that's pretty decent enough. Right here, he's got a ball joint at his hips, so right here he can go that far to that side, that far to that side. He can crunch forward that far, and he can crunch back that far, which is a pretty great amount if you ask me. Right here, his legs can split apart that far, which is pretty decent enough. Right there, you do get a thigh cut right there. He can kick his leg forward that far, and back just a little bit, not too bad. He does have double jointed knees that bend in that far and bend back that far as well. They're very squeaky in there at that hip joint. But anyway, right there, he can kick his leg back that far. And that's pretty decent amount because it does have that bagginess in there. So that's pretty nice. And he does have almost the perfect ballerina. His foot can go that far forward, and it's on that ball hinge and allowing him to go side to side. And that was a good look at Bakugo Katsuki's articulation. Let's take a good look at Bakugo Katsuki's sculpt and detailing. And first of all, we'll go ahead and look at his face. And I think his hair should have been a little bit more yellow, have a little bit more blonde in it and some highlights. I think, to me, this is just a little bit too creamy of a white. And that's kind of displeasing with me. I don't like that at all. Now, his face mask and his eyes came out very clean. I do like that a lot. And it's very rare that we see Bakugo smile in the anime, but he does whenever he's about to cause destruction. So, I mean, that's okay, but I would like to see more of an angrier face sculpt. Maybe like a separate, head sculpt or something. That would have been nice. But I wish this would have been a lot brighter of an orange as well. Instead, it's kind of dull, and it's just doesn't really pop on this figure. But the black came out looking good. I do like that a lot. And right here, the back of the figure, the same thing I got going on with the hair. And it's got a little bit of, can be separated right through there and right there. It probably can. It's probably glued together. But I'm not going to try to take mine apart. But anyway, I do like this silver that they used around his collar. Although I would have liked them to fill in the holes throughout the whole thing with black. I think that would have looked a lot better. Now, the paint apps came out very clean on this figure. It's not a speck of paint outside of where it needs to be. But it's so glossy. I would have preferred like a matte finish over his clothes and skin. So whenever you're taking pictures or photos, that he wouldn't be so glossy. Now, they did a good job on his gauntlets. And his elbows does support his gauntlets. And speaking of his elbows, I would have liked to have seen a twist in there. And, where we could rotate that gauntlet around. But you'll get all your rotation at your arm and your bicep. But the gauntlet doesn't look terribly bad. And, that's a stab at McFarlane because them elbow joints was a little loose. Anyway, I would like to see this a little bit of a little bit duller color silver, with a little bit of washed. I think that would have looked really good on that. These wrist joints are very ugly. I do not like that a lot. That's probably one of my biggest complaints about this figure. We already looked at his hands earlier. And speaking of his hands, these wide open hands were so hard to get on this figure. I had to put a lot of force onto those. And it almost felt like I was going to break the figure. But I finally got them on. I don't know if it's just my copy. If anybody else has a copy like that, let me know in the description below if it's like this. But anyway, his waist, this right here, his belt, is a floaty piece. So that looks good. I do like that a lot. And it's got less of a shine to it. Still got that shine, but it's not got as much of a shine to it. I do like the grenades on his belt. I like the green and orange and the sculpt and detailing that you do see in there. I think that looks very good. And if you like Bakugo's butt, then give this video a thumbs up because I just showed you his butt. Anyway, right there, and he's got green straps right there. It looks very good. The wrinkling came really good around the pants, and there's his straps continued to the front, so that looks good, and it connects to his belt as it should. His knee pads came out looking decent enough. The silver looks a little bit too plasticky, if I can use that as a term in this review, but it looks too much like plastic instead of metal or some kind of armor. So that's a little bit disappointing right there. His knee pads, the color on them, they do look good as far as the little dots in there are concerned. They do look good there. I would like to see an orange right here where these little pivots are on his boots. I would have liked to seen that. It would have looked a lot better and it would have popped. And some orange on the straps. I think that would have looked good as well. There's the bottom of his feet. And that was a good look at Bakugo's sculpt and detail. Bakugo's beside himself. Here's how Bakugo Katsuki from Anime Heroes scales up against the McFarlane Toys My Hero Academia Katsuki Bakugo on his left. Now, out of the two of these, I do prefer the McFarlane one. I like that head sculpt. I think the paint apps on that one came out very sloppy, but it still pops. I think it looks a lot better, and you can get him into some really good poses, even though his elbow joints are very weak and cannot support those gauntlets. I just, in my opinion, think that that's still the better figure between the two of these. And if you were going to spend the money on one of these figures, I would definitely say pick up the McFarlane one over the Bandai. From Bandai Anime Heroes from the My Hero Academia wave, we have the only other figure that I've already reviewed. Here's how Bakugo Katsuki scales up against Midoriya Izuku over there on his left. And this really isn't a bad line at all. They are really good, solid figures for what they are. Now, me personally, I prefer the McFarlane ones over these. But let me know which ones you prefer in the comments below. How Anime Heroes Bakugo Katsuki scales up against a couple of Izuku Midoriyas from McFarlane Toys. Over there on his left, we have the full scaling effect Izuku Midoriya. And over there on his right, we have the original release of Izuku Midoriya. Here's how Anime Heroes Bakugo Katsuki scales up against a couple more McFarlane My Hero Academia action figures. Over there on his left from the GameStop exclusive, we have the All Might Silver Aged. And over there on his right, we have the original All Might release. And honestly, these two All Mights go better in scale with this line than they do in their actual line. Anime Heroes Bakugo Katsuki scales up against a couple more McFarlane action figures from My Hero Academia. Over there on his left, we have Shoto Todoroki, and over there on his right, we have Tomura Shigaraki. Anime Heroes Bakugo Katsuki scales up against the Bam Presto All Might. Anime Heroes Bakugo Katsuki scales up against a couple of Hasbro action figures. Over there on his left, we have the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Walgreens exclusive Dragon Shield Black Power Ranger. And over there on his right, we have the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Iron Man 2020. Here's my final thoughts on this figure. If you can't find a McFarlane Toys My Hero Academia figure laying around on the store shelves, and this is your only other alternative, you won't be disappointed with this figure. However, you would have preferred the other one over this one, because the other one you get great articulation out of, and you do get them effect pieces, and the joints isn't as ugly as this one is. But this one isn't a bad looking figure. It looks very good for what it is. I think Bandai can do a little bit more improvements here and there and give us a little bit better of accessories, but that's just my opinion on this figure. But let me know what you think of the figure. Let me know what you think in the review in the comments below. And as always, feel the urge to collect with Surge. If you want more action figure collectors reviews, then feel the urge to subscribe to Surge. And if you've liked what you've seen, then click that big thumbs up button. If you want to get notified of my latest videos whenever they drop, click that notification bell. If you want to see this channel grow, share with a friend. Speaking of friends, you can friend me over there on Facebook. Links to that will be in the description below. You can also follow me along on Twitter. Links to that will be in the description below. Kill you, you Gold Ranger wannabe! With what, your baby doll looks?